Good morning, students. Welcome to Good Samaritan School online classes. In today's class, we are going to start a new chapter, chapter 11, The Human Eye and the Colorful World. In this chapter, we have some dedicated topics from page 187 to page 190, that is 190. We need not to learn anything. That means the human eye, parts of human eye, and working of an eye, power accommodation of an eye, defects which you can see in an eye, all these topics are deleted. So only topic is we are going to start from the prism, glass prism, and how the light is getting refracted in a glass prism. So all these topics we are going to learn. So as we can see this chapter completely, the topic we are going to learn, the three main topics we are going to learn in this topic, mainly dispersion, second thing is atmospheric refraction, the third thing is scattering of light. So dispersion of light, atmospheric refraction, the third thing is scattering of light. Only these three things we are going to learn in this chapter. Okay, let's start this chapter. Refraction of a light through a glass prism. Okay, first of all we should know what is a glass prism. In the last chapters we learned that when light passes through a rectangular glass slab, okay, we used rectangular glass slab. What happened when a light passed through in that? They get refracted, and also they get the emergent ray and the incident ray, or the refracted ray. Okay, they comes as a parallel to the incident ray, right? The emergent ray is parallel to the incident ray. This is what we have learned. Why this happens? This happens because the two parallel refractive surface of the glass slab, right? Because they are rectangular, you can see that they always parallel to the refractive surfaces. They have the parallel refractive surfaces. But here, now let us see here. When a light passes through a refracted, or when a light rays is getting refracted, when a transparent medium has the two surfaces inclined by to each other at an angle, what happens and how they get refracted? You can see this prism here. This prism consists of two triangular bases and three rectangular lateral surfaces. How they looks? It looks like this. They have one triangle is here, okay, and the prism it looks like this, right? Another triangle is like this, and they have three rectangular bases. One here, one triangle, one rectangle, another rectangle will be here, and another rectangle will be here. So they have three rectangular bases and two triangular bases and three rectangular bases. So this is how the prism looks. So by doing one activity we can learn how and light are getting refracted by this glass prism. Okay, let's see here. You can take a glass prism here. This is what a glass prism, and they are you think that this is A, B and C. This is a glass prism. When an incident ray comes through the part AB, okay, this is coming from the rarer medium to the denser medium. That means from air the incident rays is coming and it is going inside the glass medium, and that is denser. Okay, if we put a normal here, it bends inside. In other word, they bend towards the normal. Am I right? And you can see here, when a white light falls on the surface AB, it passes from the rarer medium to the denser medium, it bends towards the normal. That's a very important thing. So when it towards the normal, and then what happened? It needs to emerge out, right? It get again refracted. It needs to comes out. If I put a normal again from the denser medium to rarer medium, it comes out. getting refracted. So if I put a normal here, and you can see here the denser medium to rarer medium, it bends away from the normal, right? You can see that it bends away from the normal. But you can see here the incident ray and the emergent ray is, if produced, they are not parallel to each other, am I right? But you can see in the rectangular one they are parallel to each other, but here in this case they are not parallel to each other. So what I did, we are just extending this line backward, and here there is an angle which is formed here, right? The making of an angle D is known as the angle of deviation, and through which the incident ray is deviated by the prism. So thus what we are learning here, a prism always deviated light ray from its original direction through an angle D because of its peculiar shape, and it bends the ray towards its base, right? So this is what we are learning from this activity. So in this topic also, here the words are given, angle of deviation which is given here, which shows that emergent ray is deviated by an angle to the incident ray, and the angle is called angle of deviation. Okay, the next topic we are going to learn is dispersion of white light. So as you can see here, when a ray of light, or you could think that a sunlight, enters a glass prism, okay, when a sunlight enters a glass prism, what you can see here, what you can identify here when a sunlight passes through a glass prism? Yes, that means enters a glass prism, that is a denser medium, it get deviated from its path. That means the two inclined surface of the prism can be shown, and some many interesting or exciting phenomena they are showing here. For example, the main thing here is, in the year 1665, the scientist Sir Isaac Newton was the first to discover a very interesting phenomenon. When white light passes through a prism, in addition to bending towards its base, it gets separated into bands of 7 different colors. So when a beam of light passes through this, they gives different varieties of, or beam of, us we can say that they are said to be spectrum. Okay, spectrum is the band of light. So it produces different colors of 7 colors they produce, and by this prism. You take an example, take a glass prism and place it close to the wall on one side of the triangle face. Also a narrow beam of white light from the sun or some other source of light to fall on the rectangular face of the prism. What you can see here, the prism should be kept away from the wall. Okay, on entering the glass prism, the beam of white light split away the band of 7 colors, and they produce all these colors. That means VIBGYOR. They produce a spectrum of band of colors here: violet, indigo, blue, green, yellow, orange and red. This band of 7 colors is called the spectrum, and the phenomenon of splitting up of white light into the components color when it passes through the glass prism is called dispersion of white light or dispersion of light. Here in this topic we are going to learn one more thing also here. A sunlight is a mixture of 7 colors, as we all know that from this. And also each color made up of waves of particular wavelength. That is very important here. Each color has its own characteristics wavelength. For example, you can see here the red has longest wavelength. The red has the longest wavelength and the violet has the shortest wavelength. Although the speed of light in a vacuum is same for all wavelengths, but speed of light decreases in a transparent medium because lights of different colors, that means different wavelength, travels with different speed in different mediums. That you have to keep it in your mind. I repeat once again, the speed of light decreases in a transparent medium, okay, because light of different colors, that means different wavelength, travels with different speed on different mediums. Due to difference in their speeds, the bending of different colors, or in other word different wavelength, is also different through different angles of refraction. Since wavelength of red color is more than violet, therefore angle of refraction of red color is maximum, and hence red color deviates the least. Okay, that means they have least, they deviate the least, that means the bend little थोड़ा सा bend होता है, right? And the other hand, the angle of refraction of violet color is maximum, and hence violet color deviates the most. While passing through the glass prism, also the deviation of yellow color, it takes the mean deviation because sensitivity of eyes is maximum of wavelength. Okay, so when a beam of light passes through the glass prism, it is split into bands of color, which you can see in this page here. I hope you will understand this, and also the wavelength and the deviate, which is deviated most and which is deviating the least. Okay, you can see here from this picture also you can understand the longer wavelength and the shorter wavelength. Okay, recombination of spectrum of white light produce white light. Okay, this is the very important thing which you can see by the experiment of Newton here. He tried to further split up colors. What he did is by using some when a beam of white light is passed through a glass prism, it is split up into its component colors. When these colors are allowed to fall on an inverted glass prism, it recombines to produce a white color, right? It looks little interesting, right? So what it says is, with the same glass material and the same refractive angle is placed in a inverted in the path of a spectrum formed by the first prism, then a beam of white light emerges out from the other side of the second prism. Why it happens? It is because the first prism dispersed the white light into 7 colors, and the first phase of the second prism deviates the dispersed color, that is the 7 colors, towards its base, such that all the colors while passing through the other phase of the second prism recombines to form the white light after refraction. Okay, this is what happening here. I repeat what happens here. The first prism, it's dispersed the white light into 7 colors, and then when it goes towards the base such that all the colors while passing through the other phase of the second prism, it recombines to form the white light after refraction. So the first prism is known as dispersing prism, okay, and the second prism recombines the dispersed color, therefore it is known as recombination prism. Both the prism A, that means the prism A, the first prism, and the second prism together act as a glass slab. You think that with parallel sides, and emergent ray is parallel to the incident ray. If you watch carefully, you will understand that this looks like a glass slab. Am I right? So the emergent ray is parallel to the incident ray is parallel to the emergent ray. Am I right? This is actually what we are learning in this topic, recombination of spectrum of white light. The next topic is the rainbow formation. Okay, how this rainbow is formed, and you can take this the blue color dot which is drawn is the small water droplets which is formed here. And you all know that how the rainbow is formed. It always comes opposite of the sunlight, okay, and it always comes after the rain showers. The rainbow is a natural spectrum appearing in the sky after a rain showers. It is caused by the dispersion of white light or sunlight by water droplet present in the atmosphere. The water droplet act as a small prism here. So here only we have taken a water droplet here, one water droplet, and we are going to see how they act as a prism here. They refract the disperse the sunlight, then they reflect it internally and finally refract it again when it comes out of the raindrops. Due to the dispersion of sunlight and internal reflection by the water droplet, we see the rainbow colors. You can see here, as you can see here, first the sunlight comes inside, it is getting refracted inside, and internally they get reflect and then again refract outside, and which is forms here as a internally they get reflected by the water droplets, and you can see the colors of the rainbow colors, and this is how it forms here, right? So what is here, finally the refract is again when it comes out of the raindrops. This is due to the dispersion of light and internal reflection, which different colors reach the observer's eye. You can also see the rainbow on a sunny day when you look at the sky through your waterfalls or through your water fountain with the sun behind you. Okay, this is how it forms here. Next thing is atmospheric refraction. What is atmospheric refraction? As you know that when a ray of light enters from one medium to another medium of a different optical density, it undergoes refraction. Maybe from the air medium to the glass medium, or from the glass medium to the air medium, okay, or water medium, whatever it is, they undergoes refraction. There are certain phenomena which are based on the atmospheric refraction. So that is what we are going to see here. First of all, you can just understand what is atmosphere. You all know what would atmosphere. Atmosphere is the ocean of air around us. Okay, it consists of different layers of colorless gases having different densities at different heights, and air near the earth is denser, they are very thick than the air at the higher altitudes. Densities of air is gradually decreases as we move towards the higher altitudes. That is why what happens when we walk to the mountains, we feel little discomfortable on breathing, right? Therefore the refractive index is also not uniform throughout, they are different, right? So I can give you one more example also. In the hot summer day or sunny day, if you watch the road little far away, you can see some kind of wave which is formed there. Okay, the wave which is moving, the hot air, it looks like a wave, just radiator, it looks like a radiation. The air just above the fire becomes hotter than the air further up above it, and has the refractive index slightly less than that of the cooler air. Am I right? Since the physical condition of the refractive medium, that is air, are not stationary, the apparent position of an object as we seen through the hot air fluctuates. That's what happens when you see when a car is coming very far from the road in a hot summer time. It looks like the hot air, it looks like just moving on the top, and it looks like something is fluctuating, right? And this is one of the phenomenon we are going to learn here as a refraction. Thus refraction of the light rays due to the atmosphere having layers of air in a different optical densities is called refractive atmospheric refraction. Okay, here the main question here is twinkling of stars. Stars, they twinkle. We think that okay, it's stars, they twinkles, but you can see that stars are little far from us. They are really actually big like a sun, and also they are little far from us, far from the earth, or far from the different planets. The stars are situated very far from us and can be considered as a point source of light from such a distance. when a white light or a light rays from the star is traveling obliquely through a different layers. That means you can see here, even in the earth consists of many layers, stratosphere, troposphere, many layers are there. So the light has to travel through all these layers, different layers, and varying different refractive indexes they have, and they reach the eyes of the observer on the earth. We are standing on the top of our building and watching the stars, and that star's light is traveling many layers, which is covering the earth, or many, it comes very long distance, right? The star appears to be situated at the different position. The star what we are seeing actually, what we are seeing now is not in the same place actually. That is the main thing. That means the star appears higher than its actual position when viewed by the observer on the earth. This is because while traveling obliquely through the air of increasing optical density, it bends towards the normal. Thus, an observer eye traces the straight line path, and the ray appears to comes from the point higher in horizon, which gives the apparent height to the star. Right. So that is why the stars are looking, little different, and they never stay at one place. Sometimes the physical condition of these layers of the air are also not stationary, right? Because the refractive index of the layer go on changing continuously. Sometimes that is what I gave an example of the sunny day, the hot air when it rises up, and through the hot air, when you watch the car is coming from the far, the car looks fluctuating here and there, right? We may thinking that okay, car is coming in this direction, but up to this area, but it may be little far from us. Okay, that is what I gave you that examples here. So therefore every next moment the star appears to be in different position. That is why, but never very near to the first, as change the refractive index of the layer is very small. Hence the apparent position of the star is always fluctuates in small area. That makes it appears to twinkle. Sometimes it appears brighter and sometimes fainter. That is why it looks twinkling. I hope you understand this. The atmospheric, here also in this PDF you can see, in the PPT you can see here, the refractive index of the atmosphere gradually increasing toward the surface of the earth, because the hot air above is less dense than the cool air below. So light gradually bends. Obviously you can see that when air is traveling from the denser medium to the rarer medium, they bend actually. Am I right? The little bend. So the light gradually bends towards the normal. So the real position of the star is different from its apparent position. Okay, this is how it's saying that, because it traveling from different layers. Okay, this is one layer and this is another layer. So it is traveling from different layers. So light has to bend. Again it bends. So when you put a line here, we look straight, right? So for us it looks here, but actually the star is here only. Clear? There is another question arises. Why planets do not twinkle? You can see that as the distance between the planet and the earth is less as compared to the star, because stars are little far from us and planets are little very close to us. And planets can be considered as extended source or collection of large number of points of source of light. Their apparent position also changes due to the variation in optical density of different layers of atmosphere. But since the planets are nearer to the eyes as compared to the star, the apparent shift in their position cannot be easily observed, and they subtend greater angle of the eye, right? Because stars are very far from us, they fluctuate a lot, but planets are comparatively very closer to us, so even they also fluctuate, but our eyes can't see that. That means they are fluctuating at not a big angle, fluctuating at very small angles. Okay, there is another question also in the same topic: advanced sunrise and delay sunset. You can see that sun is visible to us about 2 minutes before twinkling of stars that we have seen now. Advance sunrise and delay sunset. Why it happens? When you see a sun is slightly below the horizon, the sun rays coming from the space to earth atmosphere of a different density suffer refraction and therefore bend towards the normal continuously. But to the observer on the earth, they appears to be coming from the point above the horizon. Right? Visual image of the sun is seen above the horizon. Due to the atmospheric refraction, the sun becomes visible 2 minutes before its actual sunrise. This is what happened, because even if I want to explain it very clearly, I can say that when the sun is slightly below the horizon, the sun rays which is coming from the space to the earth's atmosphere, because they have of different densities, because they are coming from the different densities, and there are lots of refraction they need to have, and they bend towards the normal continuously. Okay, they keep on bending towards the normal. But to the observer, which you can see from the earth, right, because they are bent towards the normal, right, visual image of the sun is seen above the horizon. So for us, the sun is already risen, but actually sun is not risen. And also the same thing you can see on the sunset. Even when the sun goes below the horizon, it is still visible because of the atmospheric refraction again. Again, just think of the stars. Okay, they looks like at the same position, but they are not. Same thing here. Therefore, the sun remains visible for 2 minutes even after the actual sunset. This increases the length of the day by 4 minutes actually. Clear? So this is what the topic for today, and hope you understand this topic. If you have further doubt on this, please do ask me in my WhatsApp number. Thank you and have a nice day.